and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to 2 Cents to Listen. Today, we're going over the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Xman, or Nathan Gray. I pre-ordered this on Amazon as well when I did Sunfire, so he showed up a couple days ago. It was around 20 bucks-ish. I pre-ordered him because I had the Toy Biz version as a kid, not like the Toy Biz Marvel Legend, but like one of the Toy Biz, 5-inch ones. Never really knew who he was, but he had a bunch of what I thought at the time were fire things attached to his hands and a little stand that he could clip onto. Come to find out that's actually psionic powers, but that's neither here nor there. And so I've always kind of had a soft spot for him. And then later on as an adult, I learned that the argument could be made that he's a version of Cable and that he was created by Mr. Sinister using DNA from Cyclops and Phoenix. So kind of how Cable is the offspring of Madeline Pryor, clone of Jean Grey, and Cyclops. So the argument could be made that he's like an alternate timeline reality version of Cyclops. Some people don't agree with that, some people do, but Cyclops being my favorite character, to me, he's part of the Summers family, so I had to get him. Looking at the box, you see that we get Nathan Gray, 2 Sugarman arms, Xmen, Xman, Marvel Legends at the top. Side of the box, we get Apocalypse, picture of Xman. Other side of the box, same picture. Top of the box, Age of Apocalypse logo, Paper J hook. Bottom of the box, bunch of legalese no one likes. Back of the box, which has the crease because Amazon doesn't know how to package anything. Picture of the figure, small little read-up. Everyone else who's available in the wave. Again, I only got Xman and Sunfire. Sunfire because he's translucent. Xman because, again, I already explained that. Picture of the Sugarman Build-A-Figure, which I'm probably going to buy this separately because I don't have any interest in the rest of these. I went over that in the Sunfire video. All that out of the way, I'm going to get him open, we'll go over articulation, and that should be about it. And just like with Crossbones, Red Guardian, and Sunfire, it looks like they've gone back to having the plastic on the front of the box instead of that removable clamshell. So I guess you have that to look forward to if you're a box collector. And that brings us to Xman himself. Since he came with nothing else in the box, we could jump right into the figure. I have some issues with mine, and I have some complaints about sculpt, but overall, it's another Marvel Legend, and I like the nostalgia that he brings. First, I'm going to go over the complaints, and we'll go over articulation. At some point in manufacturing, mine has this problem where they didn't peg in his foot completely. So I'm going to have to boil that off and pop it back on and hope to God that the peg isn't smushed or mushroomed somehow, because that's pretty unsightly. I get some pretty major gaps with this foot, and it kind of looks weird. Another chief complaint are these forearms look absolutely massive. It doesn't look so bad, it's not that noticeable in this vanilla pose, but when his forearms are wider than his biceps, it's a little bizarre looking. And it's truly evident whenever you bend his arm like that. I don't know what their game plan was with that necessarily, but it's very unsightly and distracting. Another one is how thick this jacket is. It is a very, very thick plastic. You see how thick that is right there? It's ridiculous. It doesn't hinder his articulation as bad as one might think, but I don't know. I'm used to a thinner kind of plastic, I guess. Speaking of articulation, let's go ahead and go over that. So normally I start with looking up and down, but you get a lot of shifting with this figure, which is good, because if you have to shift the head forward and then bring it back to get him to look up. Otherwise, if you leave his head vanilla, he crashes into the collar on his jacket. He can bury his chin, he can look side to side, great amount of tilt as you might imagine. Shoulder spins 360 with no problem, comes up to a 90, bicep swivel. I already showed you the double jointed elbows, but that's how far they come up, and it looks weird because of the sculpt of the jacket. He has a ab crunch here instead of a dumbbell. He can lean forward that far. He can lean back that far. The jacket does raise off of his shoulders a little bit when you do that, but he can lean back. We have waist swivel. The belt is a separate piece, but it's kind of got a molded groove in there so it doesn't move, which is nice. It doesn't move all over the damn place. Kicks forward to a hair under 90. Kicks back a little bit. Kicks out that far. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knees come up this far. Boot swivel. Ankle goes back, forward, and a very tight ankle rocker. Leads me to another complaint, not a complaint so much as an observation, but his joints are very tight. Especially here in the hips, he almost has that articulated icon hip. It doesn't slingshot down, but you do fight moving the legs a little bit. And the feet look very small for how tall he is. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe they used the wrong feet or something. I don't know, but his feet look incredibly small for his height. I don't know. That's just something I'm noticing. I like the eye effect. It's a nice touch. It would be nice to have it be able to be removed or have a different head without it, but I understand that Xman isn't necessarily a popular character necessarily people do like him, but he's not popular enough to necessitate extra heads, and I feel like those people who do like Xman are going to be happy that they got one to begin with. Not that that's an excuse for anything, but I'm just saying that's probably the mental gymnastics behind it, not give him an extra head. The sculpt on the jacket's very nice. I do have some kind of missed paint along the ridges here, but, you know, again, it's a $20 Marvel Legends, so you're going to have missed paint, you're going to have scratches and buffs, you're going to have some bubbling of the paint in certain areas. Overall, it's not a bad character. Again, it's only a $20 figure, and it's of a figure that's not necessarily super popular. I mean, he has his fans, I'm sure, but he's not, you know, Iron Man, or he's not one of the A-listers. Well, I'll just put it that way. A few complaints, a few issues. I am happy to have him regardless, just because he brings that nostalgia back from being a child and having that Toy Biz version. And he was great to play with. He had, you know, bendable elbows, knees. He had tons of articulation to me at that time. Even with his foot a little whopper jawed, he stands fine, but he stands kind of cockeyed a little bit. But, you know, again, I'm just going to have to boil it, pop it off, and put it back on and hope that that fixes it. And hope that's not like a misdrilled hole or something. Anyway, let me know down below if you even know who Xman is, or Nathan Gray, what your first introduction to him is it this figure? Did you read Age of Apocalypse? You know, I'm always interested to know that kind of stuff. So, if you liked the video, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Anyway, that's all I got for today. So thanks for stopping by, and until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.